during a video game when all of this took
Yes,
place.
I don't know the game that they were playing, but I do know that there was some conversations in the Discord app. In that app, they decided to share some personal things about themselves. So they didn't know each other personally, but because they were sharing these personal things back and forth, we were able to identify that person a little bit more quickly. So sharing personal information on an app kind of could get you in trouble.
Well,
Yeah,
I was
go
going to
ahead.
say, I guess this is a good opportunity to, tell parents to keep a closer eye on, the video games these kids are playing and who they're talking to online.
Right, right. A lot of times people will start asking questions that you really just don't want your child answering. They sometimes will tell who they live with, what school they go to, who their friends are, what their parents do, and it's just really not a good idea. It's not safe at all.
What was the voicemail left on?
It was left on the school's voicemail. He actually called the school and left a voicemail, yes.
And when you say they didn't know each other personally, they never met outside of this video game?
No, never. They're over here, and he was over in Island Mirada, Florida.
So he just knows of him from on this
Just
app
on this
he's talking
game,
about-
yep, on a game, talking back and forth, and they, share some information about what school they go to or where they live, and they just become friends. It's not really friends, but
How difficult are these type of circumstances for you guys to locate, through, this technology 2022 with video games?
it's very difficult and it's time consuming for the detectives. They did an excellent job, though. The administration, the SRO, and our major crimes detective, they gathered so much evidence just from witness statements and little things that they might have said that kind of got them in the right direction. And they are able to look back on apps and different gaming sites and find people, so.
I'm sure the school called you. How long did it take from the voicemail to you guys locating this?
It took a little bit, but they did know immediately that the threat was fictitious because of the witnesses that we had at the school. So we were able to figure out who this person was, where this person was located. It just took a little bit longer for the investigation to make sure that we had the evidence that was needed to prosecute and arrest.
And what's he being charged with?
He's being charged with, I don't want to say this incorrectly, threat to throw, project, place, or discharge any destructive device, and it is a felony.
Any message that you want out to people who are on these video games and think it's a joke for these threats and how important it is to
Absolutely.
take action of this?
You have to watch what you say, always. Your words can hurt, they can scare people, and it's illegal, and it's not right.
This boy is in the Keys jail now. He is facing a charge of what?
Threat to throw, project, place, or discharge any destructive device, and it's a felony, secondary.
He's being charged as an adult.
Oh, I don't know that.
Okay, we don't.
Yes,
Okay.
no,
that's fine.
because he's 16 and he is in the juvenile facility. So that would be something that would be determined later, if he had any priors or anything like that. So I'm not familiar with that at this time.
What is the process right now? He's in juvie or can you?
He is in the Jack facility over on that in Monroe County, not here. So the warrant request was done here and approved, and then we called over there to say that this warrant was approved, and they picked him up.
Will it have to come back here to figure out legal issues, what will happen with that? or will
Not
we
sure
hold
with
it?
that. It might be over there. It's just how things work.
So
Depends.
essentially the investigation took place here.
Yes.
But information forwarded to Monroe County Sheriff's Office.
Right.
They took up.
They took that, yes. And they did during the investigation, they did go and find Jacob and questioned him and did get the confession. So that was, we worked together with, there was many different entities that worked together and cooperated together and made this a successful arrest.
Is the other student or his parents pressing any charges or the school or anything?
The school is pressing charges, so that's where that comes from. As opposed to the parents, I don't know about that, but there's nothing that I can think of right now that they could charge him with
I
that.
wasn't sure if this boy is scared when he, found out that that's.
Yeah,
school.
well, because he was pretending to be him because he wanted to ruin his life, so it's, just not a good thing, for sure.
So when he made the call, he called as that kid,
Yes, he did. Used his name.
and then some of the other telltale signs that you guys saw based off witness statements that made it known that, okay, this is a fake call.
Right, exactly. yes. Because we interviewed the person that he was supposedly, and he's like, oh, I didn't make that call. And then we were able to find out where that call was coming from and why maybe somebody would have made that call. And those were just all just really good interview and investigative things that like our detective did that got us that evidence. So.
Would you almost call this an instance of attempted swatting? Are you familiar with the term swatting?
Yes, yes. Yes, it could be. Yes, because you're sending us in an alarmed way to a school, and it could be perceived that way. Yes, but usually those calls bounce off so many different ways. It's very, very hard to trace. So this was done.
Less thought out way.
Yes, yes.
How often do you get these kind of threats that you guys are working on?
We do get threats often. Well, I shouldn't say that. We don't get threats too often, but they're usually handled pretty quickly and they aren't anything real. So I think kids just saying something when they're mad or something like that, and then you can kind of figure out, is this something that's real or is it not? We investigate whether the family life is okay, if there's anything going on there, if they have weapons in the home, we make sure that they don't have any way of getting to those weapons. So there's many steps that we take to make sure that if somebody does make a comment that they're going to kill somebody or bomb threat a school or suicide vest or anything like that, that we go through all of the steps to make sure that that threat is not real.
Did you guys end up going to the house of the boy?
Yes.
Who he was pretending to be?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. That was an immediate thing.
Yeah.
Yes, because can't be sure until we investigate all of that.
Now, do we know if the teen actually had the weapons that he said that he had?
He did not. He did not have any of those weapons. The person that he lived with, I do believe, did own a firearm, but was licensed and able to carry, and it was locked up, and he was the only person able to get it. So, yes.
And just the intricacies of this case, with all the different apps and the video games and that sort of thing, how does all of that kind of play into this, leading to that?
It's just an incredible, easy way for kids, parents, people in general to talk and not really know who they're talking to. You just have to really be careful and know who you're talking to and what information they're trying to get from you. I mean, there's a lot of lessons to be learned from this, obviously. We want parents to be cognizant of everything their kids do on their phone. I mean, you have the world at your fingertips, with this. So, parental restrictions on there. I have them for my children. I mean, everybody should really do that.
Swatting, as I guess
Yes.
as a concept, has been going on for, as long as online gaming has
Yes,
been
a long
thing.
time. Mhm.
So about almost 2 decades now. In that time, has CCPD or law enforcement in general kind of changed their approach as to how they're going to respond to a threat like that over the phone that probably isn't as credible as the person wants it to be?
Right. We have to respond to every threat like that as if it's real. Because we cannot take that second to go, is this real or fake? We're going to go like it's real, and then we're going to determine step by step that it's not. So it's a hazard of what we have to deal with now, but it's something that we're ready for all the time.
It's just